Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about why I switched from the Masters to the BSc course. So, as you guys should know by now, I'm a third year maths student and I had originally been registered to the Masters course. So what I will say is if you're looking to apply to Warwick, then registering for Masters is easier than if you want to pick up the Masters later on. So the reason for that is because of student finance. You don't need to reapply because you are already so you don't need to reapply because you're already kind of on the course for the 4 years, so they just count it as like your funding is for 4 years. Whereas if you apply for the 3-year course saying that you're doing a BSc, then what happens is you need to then contact them during your 3rd year and say, look, I am actually going to do a master's, and then the funding might be a bit different, or I haven't had to do that, but I was always told to apply for masters because it's easier to drop the year rather than pick up the year. So I did that. I stayed on the master's course. Now, even if you're doing the master's course, it's not guaranteed that you will make it to the 4th year, and it's dependent on your grades. Now, for us, for our year group at least, at Warwick, what they did was they said in your 1st year you needed something, I don't remember, probably like 60%, and then in your 2nd year, which was a trickier one, is you needed to average 65% in your maths modules. So there's a couple of situations and things to do with credits and stuff, but I won't go into that. But we were aiming for a 65%. If you don't get 65%, they are really strict. They will not let you do the masters anymore. So you have to take the BSc. So I actually made it through last year. Managed to stay on the masters, and at the time I was ecstatic. I was very worried that I wouldn't get the grades for it, but then over the summer I started having a think about it, and I really realized that I don't know if I want to do a masters of maths. And the reason for that is it was based on, so Warwick allows you to do a lot with your degree. You don't have to do just maths, and I tended to end up picking modules from economics instead of maths, and just generally other departments, but mainly economics. And it was something I had consciously decided to do, that I would do 20% every year of economics. But then last year I did 25%, and my economics module happened to be my best module. And after sitting with that over the summer holidays, I was kind of thinking to myself, I did so well in economics, why am I trying to do a maths masters? And so I kind of toyed with the idea of doing an economics masters. But I don't think anyone tells you this, but switching unis to do a masters, it seems like a great idea, especially for people who applied to Oxbridge. I personally didn't, but people who applied and got rejected from Oxford and Cambridge always kind of think to themselves, if I do well in my degree, then I'll do well in my BSc, and then I'll go to Oxford and Cambridge to do my masters. Now, absolutely, you can go for it, but personally, it wasn't for me. Purely because you're looking at a very expensive masters. Sometimes they do like 9-month masters, which is what you'd have if you do an integrated course, or they have like 2-year masters, and it just varies depending on the course, the uni, everything. But the main point is, it is not £9,000. Once you leave the kind of safety net of UCAS when you're in year 13 and applying for masters with your degree, your undergraduate degree, once you leave that, unis can charge whatever they want. And I was actually considering, I want to work in finance, so let me have a look at finance degrees elsewhere. And one that I think people will be interested in is there was something like maths and finance, or economics and finance. And that was with Oxford's business school. And obviously it must be very prestigious, it's Oxford. It costs £30,000. The government do not give you funding for that. They'll give you some funding, but they will not cover it. And personally, I don't want to put, £15,000 of money that I've saved, if I even have that kind of money, to a master's degree, and then, all of my savings are gone, or whatever, I don't even think I have the money for that. But even if I did, I just personally don't think it's worth it. Now, obviously, if you're like, oh, I have the money, I can feasibly make this happen, go for it. But that was my first point where I was like, if I'm looking at masters somewhere else, why am I trying to do a master's at Warwick? And then I started thinking to myself, what is the value of a master's? And what Warwick Careers Service says at the moment is, if you do a master's compared to a PSc and you apply for graduate schemes, you'll apply to the same graduate schemes that a PSc student has, and your applications won't be viewed any differently. If you have a master's, you don't get an advantage over anyone else. They view it the same. And I'd asked my tutor about it too recently, and he said kind of along the same lines, where he was like, if you do a master's, it's because you want to do a PhD later on. Now, I don't want to do a PhD. Obviously, master's is really valuable if you want to go into academia, if you want to become a lecturer or a professor or something like that. Brilliant, go for it. But I didn't want to do that. And the other issue I had was, over the summer, I really worked myself up over my degree. Obviously, we've had a lot of online teaching, and I found out kind of close to when our term started that they were not going to do any in-person lectures for maths students. And I thought to myself, I'm paying £9,000 to sit in front of a computer every single day, learning stuff that's, lecturers try their best, but they're not trained to teach on computers. They don't know how to use Microsoft Teams properly. They don't know what styles work. They can't even see your face when you do it. And often a lot of them will say, did I give you enough time? I can't see any of you. I don't know whether you've had enough time to do that exercise. And it's just one of those things, maybe it will get better over time, but I just can't do the online learning anymore. It is difficult and it's not for me, and I personally wouldn't want to sit through another year of that. I would rather get work experience than sitting on a computer all day learning my degree again. Now, obviously, COVID permits, next year everything will be fine, but I have to sit through this year of online learning, and unfortunately for me, I think this is going to be enough, I don't think I can do another year of maths after this. I feel like I don't enjoy maths as much anymore. The love that I had for it when I first applied to university is all gone due to, it's not the university's fault at all. It's just COVID. My university experience, especially last year, was very lonely. I didn't even come to university in term 2. I just feel like my time at university is over. I want to have a great year this year, which is why I've been going and joining societies. I've been going out more. I've been seeing my friends more, all that kind of thing. I've been clubbing probably more already this year than I went in the second term of first year. So, it's just, I feel like I really want this year to be great, and then I'm happy to end it there. I also am very on top of career stuff, which is another reason why I know people will take masters. So obviously grad schemes are incredibly competitive, and if you're applying for something like finance, like math students tend to do, you're actually looking at, trying to apply to a lot of places to get a offer, just like one offer. That's what I've been hearing from my friends at least. And I think that because I have a very clear mind on what I want to do and a very clear mind on how I'm going to do it. I mean, I've already applied to grad schemes. I think that I'm ready to stop my degree. I'm happy to take my BSc and move on. And I think that my other friend who's doing maths masters is very confused about what he wants to do. He's not sure, and so he's decided he's going to stay on another year, so he has another year to think about it. And that's a very valid reason for doing masters, even if it might not further your career in any way. I think it's a really valid reason. I mean, don't we all love procrastinating? So yeah, I think for me it just wasn't the way to go, and I think COVID made it harder. Maybe if there wasn't COVID, it would have been easier for me to do it, but I feel like it's just not for me, and I think that's something I realized over time. The other benefit is I can take less math modules this year than if I had to do the masters. I'd have to take one extra maths module, and honestly I'm thinking about deregistering from a module already, so I think that is probably for the best. So I only have to take 4 maths modules this year as opposed to 6, so that's actually quite a big difference, although it doesn't sound too much. So that's essentially what I am able to do. I get more freedom to do what I want. I can, have a bit more free time on my hands. I'm actually taking 150 credits this year, but I am planning to deregister from a maths module, as I said. But it just gives me so much more freedom, and because I know what I want to do at the end of the year, I think that I'm making the right decision here, for me personally. Now, obviously, this is not a I hate masters, don't do masters video. This is just a video to explain my thought process as to why masters wasn't the one for me. Now, I can see many reasons why masters is valuable, especially I know there are certain jobs out there. For example, I did work experience in a place that required you to have either a master's or a PhD. And then, of course, if you wanted to do that, do a master's, do your PhDs, go ahead, go forth in academia, learn your maths to the highest extent possible. If you love it even, just go for it. Do what's best for you. But what I really wanted to come across from this video was, if even if you have registered for 4 years, you don't have to do it. And if you're coming to the 3rd year and you're thinking, oh no, not another year of maths, then just drop it. Like, you don't have to do the 4th year just because you're registered on it. And a BSc is as good as a master's. Your degree is as valuable. Your degree is still an achievement. It doesn't make a difference. I was really worried when I was telling my parents, I don't think I want to do my 4th year. But they were just like, then don't do it. I was so surprised, honestly. I thought it would be like, oh, but you registered for it, you need to do it. If you don't get a master's, it's not a good degree. It's not true. My parents didn't say anything like that. They just encouraged me to do what I wanted to do. And if you're in the same position as me, or if you're in the position also, if you wanted to take masters and you're on the BSc, try and do the modules that you need to do. Make sure you follow the requirements, and you'll be able to switch. So make sure you do what makes you happy, and as long as you do that, then you'll be fine. So I really hope that you found this useful. I hope my thought process was helpful to some of you. I know that it's such a big decision, and honestly I was scared to make it myself, which is why I was calling everyone and asking for their advice. But the minute I decided on switching, I became so much happier. I feel optimistic about my degree this year rather than the fear that I was feeling at first, because obviously now this year doesn't have so much pressure on it for me to get the grades to do the masters or anything like that. I just need to get the grade that I get so that I can move on with my degree to my next move, to my career. Obviously graduate schemes are stressful, but I won't tell you guys about that. But yeah, so I really hope you found that helpful. I hope I didn't scare any of you either. Maths is a fun degree. Warwick Maths is a very good degree, and the lecturers are generally incredible, and the resources available, the support classes, they're all there for you. I'm just not an online person, and actually the support classes I think are in person, but I'm not sure yet. It's only week 1. But yeah, so I don't want to scare any of you, and obviously I just want to kind of give the message: do what you love, do what's best for you, and do what makes you the happiest. And that's what I'm doing, and that's why I've decided to switch to the BSc. So it was great talking to you guys. I hope that you have a great October. I just had to look at my calendar. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely October. If you've just started university, then congratulations. I hope you're enjoying your first week, or maybe second, depending on where you are. And I hope you found this video useful. As always, please comment down below about what you thought about this video, if you have any questions, or you could alternatively contact me via Warwick. I tend to reply slow on there, or contact me via Instagram. If you have any ideas on what you'd like to see in the future, please let me know. I would love to make content that you guys find interesting. I feel like sometimes I say things and make a video on it and it's not so helpful for you guys. So I know that there are things that you guys want, because the accommodation video I made went and did quite well. So I'm sure there's other things that you're thinking, oh, I wish there was a video out here on this. Just tell me and I'll make it. I'm very happy to make it, so just let me know. Okay, anyway, thank you guys. It was nice talking to you again, and I'll see you hopefully next month. Bye!